I'm here with Mr. Dominick. All roads lead to gold. So you've had quite the you've got another fight coming up for another belt. There's been a change in opponent. Obviously, unfortunately, Jamie's got injured. These things happen in the fight game. But Jordan Scully's come in on short notice. You also accepted that on short notice. So fair play to the two of you. How are you feeling? How did you feel obviously when the fight first fell out? Did you think you were going to be able to get an opponent? And thank you very much for joining me fight week because I realize the week that's in it.
No, 100%. How did I feel? Like, obviously, you get that demotivation. I had built up fighting Jamie since it would have been 2 years ago now, is when me and Jamie were at we did fight last and I knocked him out. So I built all that up in my head, and it was all the motivation and the right, we'll do it again, same job, you know what I mean? Same effect, we'll get the same finish. But good finish to the end of the year. And then having him pull out, to be fair, I thought, oh, here we go. But when I saw his story, it did look like a ACL tear. So that's quite sad to hear for him because I know those take a donkey's year to heal up. But yeah, the initial feeling was demotivation, but then it was, oh, maybe I could, maybe I could just say, well, I won't fight and I'll just have a lovely Christmas. But nah, fuck that. I'll get shit back into it. Yeah, I said the Arno about giving me a few names, and he gave me a few names. And Jordan, he was the first one I heard, and I was like, yeah, I'll take him. Let's go.
Yeah, because like that, it's easy to have a nice Christmas. It's easy to take it easy. But from what I know of you and from speaking to you, whether it be online or through messages or whatever, that's not the thought you're cut from. You want to go. You've only come in,
Yeah,
was it
I
two and a half
trained all
years?
that time as well for our fight. So I was like, if it's not Jamie, it's got to be someone. Someone's got to get it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and like that, he comes in. Jordan comes in obviously with a good pedigree. I was speaking just beforehand. He was speaking about how he doesn't underestimate you, even though there is I'm not saying it's good, but an experience differential. He's had 15 fights. You've had, is it six, seven? Six is what's on Tapology, but I think there was
Yeah,
one.
it's seven. Oh no, it'd be eight because I'm 6-2. My record 6-2. I got one win and one extra loss on Tapology. That's not on Tapology, so it'll be 6-2. Yeah, eight.
Yeah, so we're gonna have to get on to whoever works at Tapology and start updating these things. So when I go
I
online,
emailed him. I did email him about it, but it's like you need judges' scorecard and video proof, and I was like, I can't be arsed trying to get that. So it is what it is. It's
fair
only an
enough.
amateur record anyway. It doesn't matter as much.
Exactly, exactly. What is it now? 2.5 years that you've kind of entered the MMA world?
Yeah, I would say just over, probably maybe a wee bit longer. Coming up to three would be. Yeah, well, no, 2.5 sounds about right. Two and seven, maybe. Yeah.
And then obviously you've been fighting, you've quite a few belts as it stands already. And then to be on a show, on Decky's show, he doesn't really bring, like you fought before on the show, but he doesn't really, like, title shots don't come that quickly. A lot of times you have to win a couple or whatever. How does it feel for him to put you in for that belt against the likes of, obviously originally it was Jamie, but to be put up for the belt? Do you think it's because of what's been happening the past couple of fights? You've beaten some good guys, like Jay Gilpin is for me, he's very good, very elusive. That was a really good test that you passed there, and you were fantastic in the fight and aggressive, what we'd expect. But how does it feel to be fighting on your again, but fighting for a belt this time? And how did you feel when you got the call for another belt?
Yeah, it was compared to the last time we were at Yard didn't end as well as I hoped. So for me then to come back and it's almost like a shot at redemption, I would say. And then the title shot obviously on top of that is yeah, it's a big swinger moment. So quite happy with that.
And
Yeah.
with the build up for this fight, or not the build up, but the camp, talk to us about the camp, how the camp's been. Um, as you progress over time, obviously you're going to pick up more things. Is there anything you've added to the camp, or is there anything different? Obviously, we don't want to give you away any secrets, but how's
Yeah.
the camp been?
Well, we were training for Blaine. So the camp started a long time ago. And then Blaine got injured, and then it was, oh crap, right? We took a week off, and then it was, right, we've got Jamie. Do you want it? And I was like, I'm not too sure. I would like that easy Christmas. And then it was actually my partner. My partner said, if you're ever going to think about going pro, you know, the experience. So it was right, okay, back in the gear, back into the camp, bang, 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 training for Jamie. And then obviously, then Jamie, unfortunately pulled out. So the camp's been long, hard, and I'd say relentless, yeah, non stop.
Yeah, and then like that, I actually forgotten about the Blade one. That's another fight that I would like to. So just for me, there's another two potential really good fights there, and obviously Blade McGill is quite highly skilled, and you can see since he's gone to FAI the different things he's added to his game. Jamie is another one that I'm pretty sure will happen once he comes back. Like hopefully
Yeah.
he recovers from this in a orderly fashion and doesn't try and rush himself back. But the task in hand, obviously, you've got Jordan. He's got wealth of experience. How do you rate Jordan? How do you respect Jordan? And what do you expect from Jordan this weekend?
To be fair, I don't really know much about him. The way I'm viewing it is the way my whole mindset has changed because of Arno. It's not going to be about what my opponent's doing. It's what I'm going to do. I'm going to impose myself. It's me doing this. It's not, oh, if I throw a jab and a cross, he's going to hit me with a left hook. It's I'm throwing a jab and a cross, and he's going to receive it. And then I'm going to, you know what I mean? I'm doing whatever off that. It's all about what I'm doing. Like a stubborn cockiness, I would say. It's quite a good mindset Arno's enforcing the me and he's getting everyone else into.
Yeah, and I think you need that as well. I think sometimes, especially at amateur level, a lot of fighters will worry about too much what the other fighter brings. And obviously, you need to be aware of kind of what they're good at, what the potential traps are. But if you focus too much on the other fighter, you're never really going to
Yeah.
improve yourself. Is that kind of the way Arno has instilled that in you in
Yeah.
the team?
Yeah. Like obviously we'll watch a bit of footage and we'll see how they move, what their habits are and stuff like that. But if you focus too much on that, it kind of goes away from your own fighting style. I feel like obviously everyone has a style, and you play to your advantages, and obviously then your opponent's disadvantages.
Yeah, and if you're trying to cater to them too much, you really don't establish your own style. You're just always trying to defend what someone else has for you.
Yeah, you're reacting as opposed to being proactive, and you know what I mean, and being active. Like a reactive fighter is you can be decent, but I think obviously it's a lot better to be proactive.
Yeah, because like that, if you're reactive and you go into a fight and if the person doesn't have what you expect them to have, and you know
Yeah,
yourself, people can change from one fight to the next. At amateur, you could be looking at a completely different fighter because we can see the improvements in yourself. Every single fight I watch you, you can see how much better or better you're getting because it's so early in your career. Do you feel that as it happens, or have you just kind of got to the point where you are now? You look back at where you started and went, "Fuck me," like, or do you notice it as it happens?
it's quite funny you say that actually because I was scrolling through my camera roll and I literally saw footage of me and two other mates, and we were hitting pads. And I remember thinking at the time, "Flip, I'm unbelievable." I'm watching it back now. It's like I was 80 kilo, slow as a fucking I don't even know, like a tractor. And I remember thinking at the time, "I am unbelievable." And then looking back, I wish I had that video. It's so embarrassing. But like for me, it's more the opponents that I've noticed. It's the opponents are getting better and better, and then it's like say Blaine's name. I remember having my amateur debut when Blaine had a title shot on the RFC Real Fighting Championships or whatever it was called on that, and I remember thinking, "Flip, Blaine McGill, oh, he's going for a title." And I didn't really know much about him, but it was more like, "Oh, he's going for a title shot, fair play to him." And then the next thing, I mean, we're a couple of months ago. "Oh yeah, by the way, cage conflict, Blaine, do you want them?" And I was like, "Fuck yeah, fucking ready." So like it's more the opponents I've noticed have gotten better, and that kind of is a telltale sign that I am obviously getting better.
Yeah, yeah, no, you most definitely are. I like that. The belts you've collected, and like I said, the names that are being put in front of you now, like I said, playing Jamie, you've got Jordan Scully then as well. Like when like when they first kind of came to a cage conflict about the blame thing, were you kind of like thinking, like you just said there, fuck blame McGill, like 2 years previous, you were making your debut. Now it's fighting someone who's going for title shots because he's had title shots on multiple promotions and you've had it as well yourself in such a short space of time. How does it make you feel that in such a short space of time you've made so much progress and you've been able to? It's not even about collecting the belts. It's like you said, fighting these better fighters. Does it feel surreal at any stage that you've come this far, or with the work you put in, this is what you've worked for, and this is what you're expecting?
Yeah, I would say I would get imposter syndrome. Like, yeah, I would say that's the best way to describe it. It's like I feel like I almost it was too quick. Like I didn't deserve it sometimes. Um, but then whenever I speak to people in the gym, they kind of help me realize that actually I do deserve to be here. I've earned the right to be here, if you know what I mean. But I would get I would get that type of, no, I wouldn't say it's self-doubt, but it's more like flip. Have I got lucky or, but I, I think that's just naturally how I am. I'm a thoroughbred, you know what I mean? I'm very athletic. I'm literally, yeah, thoroughbred is the best way to describe it.
Yeah, because since I've kind of been following you, really have taken to the sport of MMA. It was mad how it came about, how you've kind of continued, and how you've kind of done slow. Not that I'm surprised that you don't want, but like just the acceleration of it. I just think it is amazing, and that's why I was interested, obviously, in yourself and Jamie at the time because he's not in it that long. You're not in it that long. You were both coming together. This was a fight that I was looking forward to. But like I said, Jordan Scully is a fantastic opponent, and the experiences that you're going to gain off him is going to be invaluable going forward as well. But what would it mean for you to lift another belt, or does the not that the belt doesn't matter, but does beating someone like Jordan mean more than the belt?
Well, I'll speak about the IER belt initially because it was against Jamie. It was more Jamie I wanted. I wanted Jamie. It didn't matter what it was. It could have been, you know what I mean, for free or whatever, or not for free, but you know what I mean. And it could have been just a regular fight. I just wanted Jamie. It didn't matter. And then obviously then with the added benefit of you beat him again, you get a belt. So for Jordan with the belt, it's kind of changed my mindset because I was thinking I've got two at the moment. We'll go for three, and then we'll see what happens after that. Yeah. And the experience Jordan has would be very valuable to not like collect as a sort, but to I see how he moves, see how he works. Um, yeah. So to me, what it means, I would view it as more like an experience type of deal, more than the IER belt. Obviously, it's an added benefit, but yeah, definitely to do with experience. And the more experience I get, the better I'm gonna get. The more one step closer we are to the end goal, big promotions and all that.
Yeah, no, 100%. And like that, you've gone onto multiple different promotions. You don't kind of just stick to the same ones. You like the amount of promotions we have and what they can offer you as a fighter, and what you think of all the promotions we have, because there's so many that you could pick and choose from at the minute. Like, how do you feel about the way Irish MMA is kind of going at the minute? Because it's kind of a hotbed right now.
Oh yeah, it's class. I think yeah, the amount of promotions is borderline ridiculous. You're getting asked like you could almost have a fight at least, well, I would say yeah, once a month. Yeah. Or maybe once every 2 months. But it is crazy. There's so many promotions and they're all good quality. They're not bad quality promotions. They're good venues. Everyone's lovely. Yeah. As long as you can make weight, yeah, you're laughing.
And then hopefully they spread them out a little bit more than they have this year. I believe there is group. I believe there is a group message. I was speaking to Danny Cole.
Yeah.
He said there is a group message um that they're kind of work with each other so that there isn't two on one day, another one a week later, another one a week later. And you were actually at that show, Cage Gladiator. What did you make of the show in itself? And you were cornering there. How do you feel cornering as well? Like, what is that like for a fighter to corner?
Oh, flip, yeah. Um, I find it really interesting. Those boys I was cornering would be the ones I would train with the most, and I would be giving my like personal tips to, personal advice to. So for them to then turn around and say, Dominic, we want you in the corner, it did mean a lot to me. And it was first time proper fighting. I've done it at interclubs before, so for like a proper fight show cornering, it was interesting. I really enjoyed it. Really enjoyed it. Heartbroken over CJ's loss, so I was heartbroken over that. I found that one really hard. I was in the corner. I could just because you can't get in, and you know what I mean. I could see I can't get in and fight the fight for him, but it was heartbreaking to see him lose that one. But yeah, it meant a lot to be corner, and that was a good promotion as well. I thought it was very well run.
Yeah, I thought it was very well run. It was packed from start to finish, and it
Mm-hmm.
just seemed to. I can't remember the guy out of your gym's name, and he was throwing flying kicks and all. It was a mental fight.
Marcus,
That's
Marcus, we
Marcus.
call him Sparkus now. Yeah,
He that was
we call him Sparkus after that.
that Sparks. That was one of the
And he's a
craziest
spark.
kind
He's an
of.
electrician as well.
Yeah, well, he was fairly lively now and there. I must say, and that fight was like what's gonna happen next? It just
Oh my god, it was crazy. He was down and then he was up again, and then we were saying, Marcus, circle around and breathe. The next thing, he's got his back into the cage, tell him to come on. I was like, oh my, oh, that was funny, so
Um,
funny.
do you get more nervous? Were you kind of more nervous when you were cornering them than you would be for your own fights? Did you find that at all, or was it
I
more?
would say I wouldn't really get nervous, to be honest. I would get scared. It would be scared until the point I'm in the cage, and that's where I feel most confident. But nervous for them boys, yeah, definitely, definitely. There's that gut feeling in your stomach, something's eating away.
Obviously you can't go in and control it for them, which is
Mm.
probably, like you said, with CJ was the hardest thing, and then, like you said, or like you would know, the work they've put in, because of the work you've put in, and unfortunately someone has to lose, is heartbreaking. But it's going to be a pleasure to see you again, because most of the shows I haven't seen you. When was the last time I seen you fight? Obviously, Akuma was, I know
Yes, yeah, with Kuma.
you've had the fallouts at the shows that I was supposed to go to. I'm gonna let you go. I want to thank you so much for your time. Is there anything you want to say before you go?
No, no, I'm all good. Shout out to the Hybrid Ards. Yeah, that's it. That's all I gotta say.
Perfect. Best of skill this weekend. It's going to be a pleasure to meet you and see you fight again in person. And thank you so much for your time this week. It really means a lot to me.
Cheers, Dave. 100%. See you later.